on, guys? We are live, episode 8. Tyler's Talking Sports. This is Tyler Hess, the guy who talks on this side of the screen or on that side of your car or that side of your earbud. On the other side of me here is the other Tyler, Tyler Castle. We're here to talk about some sports. I also want to apologize for the last two podcasts or last two Monday podcasts. Battling sickness, finally feeling a little bit better. We're excited about this. On episode 8, we're going to talk about the playoff rankings and a whole lot of other big sporting news that's coming up. But also, before we get into anything, I also want to share some breaking news that broke about a couple hours ago. Bob Knight.
Some breaking what?
Breaking news.
Okay.
You want to laugh about Bob Knight dying?
No, I was laughing at you losing your breath there for a second.
But Bob Knight, legendary basketball coach, Army, started out at Army, went to Indiana, finished out at Texas Tech, 902 wins, 3 national titles. Probably known more for his outburst and the things he said and the throwing of chairs across the basketball court, but he died after battling a long illness at the age of 83. Prayers, condolences to his family. He's a legend. I got to see him at the end of his career, watching college basketball on TV at Texas Tech. Didn't get to see much at Indiana that I remember, but seen the highlights, seen where they chained the chairs down in Indiana's basketball court because he threw them at the ref. But Bob Knight's a living legend, well, was a living legend, and he's going to be missed. Hall of Famer. Rest in peace, Bob Knight. Buddy, you awake? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm
sure?
awake, man.
Sure?
You
sure?
Yeah, I'm just letting you go through that with Bob Knight. You know, it is sad. One of the greatest college basketball coaches ever. Him and Coach K, in my opinion, still the GOATs, with Roy Williams being up there too. So, yeah, hate to see it. 83 years old. Sounds like a good life. Definitely so. But condolences to the family as well.
Yeah. All right, bud, before we get any more, you want to shout out any sponsorships?
Yeah.
Anything big? I got one that you ain't knowing about yet. I want to go ahead and get mine out of the way.
Well, before we do sponsors, I just want to let people know, if you haven't tuned in yet, this is episode 8, like Hess said. You can find all of our streaming podcasts on every streaming platform. Just check us out on Facebook, Instagram. We're on all social medias. Also, too, on here we talk about sports, anything related to sports. If you have any suggestions or questions, too, just send them our way.
Sorry, guys, I don't do the intro much. It must not have been as good as it should have been. I do apologize. So maybe I should say something at the beginning from the start one, but I guess it wasn't good enough. I won't do any more. Anyway, before we shout out our major sponsor here at Tyler's Talking Sports, I'd like to shout out my personal sponsors this week: Mucinex, Dayquil, NyQuil, and local urgent cares for getting me back on the mend and getting me back here tonight so I actually am able to talk to you guys.
Forgot about them steroids. I see how you left that off there. I know you got some of that steroid cream. Lucky dog.
What
yeah,
cream?
Totally.
What cream?
Even better.
Oh,
Real deal. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, man, got the hookup. But yeah, glad to have Hess back healthy with us. Well, somewhat healthy. I mean,
still battling.
It's Hess,
It's Hess, yeah.
Right. Mr. can't give an intro apparently. But anywho, wanted to give a shout out to our sponsors. Of course, at LFC, the hat I'm wearing, the gym in town that we've been shouting out every podcast. Next Level Fitness Club, 1806 East Main Street, 24/7 gym facility, 24/7 classes, 24/7 tanning. You asked for it, they got it. Reach out to those guys; they'd really appreciate it here in Lebanon, Virginia.
Absolutely. So, bud, you've had a busy day. I can tell you've been tired. You've been doing a lot of things, living life.
First day of the month.
November 1st.
November 1st, 2023.
This episode will be going live November 2nd at 6 a.m. We're excited about it. But, yeah, man, I went back to work today. That was cool. Had the first 2 weekdays of the week off because, battling.
You was dying.
Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much because today was my Monday, so.
Heard that.
Tomorrow's
Thursday. Let's go.
Whoa! Fast forward. But anyway, man, let's jump right into it. The first college football rankings of the year came out, or the first playoff rankings came out of the year. They released all top 25 minus JMU because they can't be eligible. We'll get into a little bit of that later. What's your thoughts on the first 4 teams they've put in? Going into
first 4, if viewers haven't seen it, they have it listed as Ohio State number 1, Georgia number 2,
Woo!
Michigan, number 3.
Boo.
Florida State, number 4.
Hold on, don't say nothing. I'll just make sure a guy wasn't behind me, like stealing my script and everything.
Oh, he's going with stealing signs. In case y'all didn't know what's going on there at Michigan. No, you just stand on the. Do you have those glasses? Are those glasses? Do they take pictures?
Shh.
You stand on the sidelines.
Those Ray-Bans.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a wild little story there. We'll get into that here in a second too, because I know it was one of our takes on today's pod. So definitely want to get into what's going on in Michigan. You asked if I agree with this Final Four or top 4 ranking as of Tuesday. No, I do not.
What's your biggest takeaway? What's the one thing that got you?
Well, 2 things.
Two, not one,
yeah,
2.
I got 2. Yeah, I don't think definitely Ohio State should not be number 1. I think they should be 2. Georgia number 1. Why not? You all have not lost a game since 2021. Sure, some games have been close, but Ohio State's had some close games too. You all found a way to win. Ohio State's found a way to win. But I just think Georgia's still number 1. The repeat or back-to-back national champions, 21, 22. How in the world do you not have them as number 1 for 2023? You just beat the brakes off of Florida. You destroyed Kentucky. These are still SEC teams. Sure, the SEC might be down a little bit this year.
I think that's got a lot to do with it this year, though, too.
But it's still Georgia.
I agree.
People sleeping on Carson Beck, too. Dude's starting to turn it around. My second takeaway on this is Michigan number 3. Who they played? Nobody. They still got Penn State and Ohio State left on their schedule. That's it.
It's kind of hard. I mean, in the history of the whole of the whole thing is usually it almost identically matches the AP poll. My thing is,
I got my hand up, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm the cheesiest, Coach. Florida State, if you look at their schedule, they should be number 3, Michigan number 4.
Well, here's what I think's happening. I've been thinking a lot about this. I was kind of like you, Georgia should be number 1. Ohio State, technically, Ohio State jumped Michigan in a way, didn't it? Because in the AP poll, isn't it Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State?
I don't know AP. I'd have to look at AP.
I think that's what it is. And I'll tell you what I think's happening. This whole playoff thing, it's the last time they're having the four teams. Next year it turns into
12.
And we're playing in Knoxville, we're playing in Athens, we're playing in
hopefully.
We're playing all these places. We're not playing these bowl games as much anymore. I mean, the games will be called the bowl games, but they won't be at these big stadiums. What I think's happened here is because this committee is not only football players, former coaches, former commissioners of conferences. It's like Condoleezza Rice. It's celebrities. I mean, there's some people in there. It's like, why are they in there? And this is what I think happened. This is my whole thing.
Well, lay it on me.
They put Ohio State 1. You put Georgia 2. In their eyes, that's your 2 best teams, no matter which way you put them.
Touche.
But they're giving the edge to Ohio State because the Big Ten has actually performed better this year than the SEC overall. They've had big wins. Georgia's been up there. They struggled a little bit. Ohio State, other than the Notre Dame game and the Indiana game, they've looked pretty dominant. They played a really good defense. But 2 good defenses, they won that game. And I think what's happening here is they're trying to get that rematch of Georgia-Ohio State, but they wanted the national title this year. So you put Ohio State 1, you put Georgia 2. It doesn't really matter at that point. So then it is Georgia-Michigan rematch, and then Ohio State would play the 4 team. And then the national title in their eyes would be Georgia-Ohio State, which is what everybody wants. They want that rematch of last year's semifinal. Marvin Harrison get his revenge. He don't get hurt because they said if he didn't get hurt, they win the national title. And I think that's what they're gunning for here. They're wanting this last 4 to be big. They're wanting the money. They're wanting the ratings. And I think that's what's happened here. Do I agree with it? No, I think actually it should be Georgia 1. I think Washington should be 2. I think Florida State should be 3. And then I'll put Ohio State 4. And then the next 2, I'm looking at Oregon then Michigan, because if all this stuff's true about Michigan, they don't deserve to be there anyway, and they're not going to be there anyway because they're going to get punished by the Big Ten. They're going to be eligible. So, yeah. And depending on what happens with a couple of these games this week, there's a team down there with 2 losses that can make a big run at this and really put the committee in a pickle come that time.
It's going to get interesting. It was interesting last year.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who was going to get in, the Final Four. That's why I'm looking forward to the 12-team playoff next year. It actually breaks it down a little bit easier, and you might have a better chance of your team actually making a run at the national.
Well, I look at it this way too.
National championship
with that 12-team playoff. I mean, right now I think you would have like Air Force, Tulane, Georgia, Tennessee would be in it, Michigan, Ohio State. I can't remember all the teams, Washington, Oregon, but I mean, you'd have some teams there like Arizona, or not Arizona, but Air Force would host a playoff game. Like, there's crazy. A possibility that their college would have the University of Tennessee or the University of Georgia. I mean, not because Georgia's up there, but like Tennessee Vols could be going to Arizona to play their first round matchup. That's just so cool to think about. Yeah. Like, you don't think about those matchups.
It's going to be nice next year. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
We just covered the top 4. One team that's a one-loss team that can make it into the Final Four. Who you got?
A one-loss team that can make it into the Final Four?
That can make it into the Final Four.
I think that's easily right now has to be Oregon, because Oregon's got the biggest upside coming up to them. They got the biggest like. They went out. They got a rematch against Washington. Both those they went out, and then they beat.
They have to beat Washington.
Yeah,
plain and simple. If they make it to the Pac-12 championship,
right.
There's still a lot of games. I think like three of their last games are ranked. Right, we went over this in the last pod. USC's got some ranked opponents for every game left.
Yeah.
I think Washington is pretty much ranked every opponent left. So they still got tough schedules. The Pac-12 is very, very interesting.
Pac-12 is very interesting
because it's really going to come down to these last couple games for all these schools. Because they're like, I know USC's one loss, right? One loss in the Pac-12 now. USC.
Yes, they only got one loss.
Washington's first, undefeated. USC second, Oregon second. They're tied.
Yes.
So yeah, that one's still up in the race. I'd go with Oregon too if they went out. That's who I'd picked. But also too, I want to mention one team that we definitely don't need to forget about if they win this weekend is Alabama. They are also a one-loss team. I think they're 7th in the playoff rankings, if I'm not mistaken, 7th or 8th.
7th.
Yeah. So that's another team that you can't sleep on. Obviously, it's Nick Saban, and if he can get a team there, if anyone's going to get a team there, it's Nick Saban. So I'm not counting out Alabama. I do have Oregon first team in as of right now. After Saturday, of course, we'll probably have different takes, but that's just college football. So as of November 1st, 2023, I'm saying Oregon.
Okay. Let's move on down to the next little topic here. Kind of touch base about. Do you think the whole Michigan thing? Do you think it comes up to bite them? Do we hear anything else about it?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, this is big news. I mean, every day you're getting new releases. Like the FBI was looking into it. Now you have Central Michigan coming out saying, how he's making a joke just a minute ago about standing on the sidelines with your recording glasses and your headset looking like a.
They got pictures of him, man. I mean, that's him.
He's everywhere. Yeah, he's everywhere. You can only get by with something for so long before it comes out. And Harbaugh, this was right under him, and I guarantee he knew every bit of it, and he knew what was going on, and he probably supported it, as bad as I hate to admit it. Because how can you be a head coach and let that go on underneath you and have no idea? And then, Michigan came out, I believe it was Sunday night or Monday, and rescinded his 5-year contract for $36-point-some million.
That came out by the Wall Street Journal, but the next day I read Jim Harbaugh and Michigan both came out and said that that's not true. They haven't done that yet. But Michigan said Harbaugh said
I've read false rumors before, so I'm not saying that that's incorrect or correct, but I do think there's going to be consequences. It's too big. I think it's too big of a story just to go hush hush.
My big thing here is you're hearing it from the NCAA's investigating it, the FBI, these other teams. What's the Big Ten doing? What's that conference doing? Why have they not stepped in and said anything other than the first week it came out when Michigan State reported it?
No idea. Somebody got pissed off. That's how it started. Well, somebody didn't get the money they supposed to, or somebody ratted on. It's something like
what
that.
It has to be. What I hope, and I know how the world is now, and it's kind of sad because you can't even watch sports without stuff like this coming into it. I just hope that it ain't people in the Big Ten being like, man, Michigan, Ohio State, they're going to bring a lot of money to us this year. If Michigan gets out, it's a big chunk of change. And I just hope that they're not sitting there being like, you know what, let's delay this as long as we can. Let's get that money. And then at the end of the year, let's give them the death penalty. Like, to me, the Big Ten needs to come out now and be like, this is what's happened.
This
Michigan,
is unacceptable.
You JMU them.
You could.
Why not?
I think you might see some stuff from this. They talked about sanctioning wins, like previous win, but that does nothing. Tennessee had that happen, and as a fan, that doesn't even faze me. I mean, it's not going to because the records. I mean, we didn't do anything,
right?
Super significant. So it's no big deal.
Hold
you
on,
can vacate.
Hold on, I got a guy at the door with my McDonald's bag of money. Hold on. Just kidding, man.
Kidding. Jeremy Pruitt joke, guys. Haven't heard that one before. Before we move into our last final thoughts on the Final Four here, because I know we got some notes, I do want to give an update on the World Series because we are watching this live. I just saw it pop up. Zach Gallen has a no through 6 innings. You
done ruined it, man. You mentioned it.
I did.
You don't talk about it.
I just mentioned it.
Yeah, and you ruined it.
And Zach Gallen just gave up home run. I'm kidding. But that's how it can happen. I don't want a no-hitter in the World Series. I want the Rangers, baby.
Hey,
we'll get into baseball later.
Fun fact, though. Who's the last
pitcher? 10-1, team record in postseason starts.
I don't care. Who's the last pitcher to throw a no-hitter in the World Series?
Oh, God. I have no idea.
The late, great Roy Halladay for the Phillies in 2008.
Wow. Yeah, you know that. You're a huge Phillies fan.
Yeah.
It's proven.
Great pitching rotation there.
But anyway, off baseball, back to football real quick. Hess.
Yes.
Who do you have? It's November 1st, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you have at the end of the year in your Final Four? We have to remain in schedules. So you got 4 games left on the schedule for everybody? Yeah.
4 to 5, you've got a conference championship.
4 to 5, depending on conference championship.
Which all your mid-majors will. So.
Yeah. Who do you have as 1, 2, 3, 4? You know what? It don't have to be particular order, but who's your top 4?
I ain't going to give an order because things happen. Georgia, LSU, Oregon.
LSU. Oh, buddy. Okay.
Ohio State.
Oh. Wow. That's a lot saying that LSU one. 2-loss team make it in. So he's saying they went out the rest of the season, take the West. Wow. Okay.
Not only do they win out the rest of the season, the way they're playing, they might be your SEC champs. That's the only way they make it.
That's a bold take, Cotton. Golly.
That's the only way they'd make it.
All right.
I hope it don't happen.
I agree with you.
That means my dogs lose a game.
I like Daniels. I do. He's very good. He's finally showing it. I got Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State. You ready for this last one?
Yep.
Oregon Ducks, baby. Ducks pull it out. They went out the Pac-12. They just, I don't know. They're looking good.
So much for the big Penix energy.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Fun fact: Hess sent me a video for all you viewers out there and listeners.
Didn't know this.
If you're a Tennessee fan, apparently Michael Penix was committed to Tennessee. Did not know that. Found that out yesterday when Hess sent me the.
Could you imagine if he would have stayed there? Y'all brought Hooker still in. He sat behind Hooker, then you had Penix come in after
this year. Oh my God! But he left. He came in the Pruitt era. Let me get that straight. So he came in the Pruitt era. So when Heupel came in, he left, which he would have been insane in that offense because it's pretty much the exact. Washington's pretty much the exact same offense. So, or was, and not now. It's totally different. But yeah, fun fact for all you Vols fans out there: the typical Vols move. There you go. So yeah. Let's get into the next segment, man.
Yeah, get the next segment. We're going to do things a little different than we have been on these Thursday pods. We've picked...
What are you eating?
I've been digging through Blakely's candy since you guys.
Oh, my God. I'm trying to lose weight, Hess.
Hey, I'm trying to keep myself from coughing my head off.
Got to do it for the pod, baby. Yeah. Eat that Twix.
It's not a Twix. It was a chewy mint thingy.
I'll take that.
Anyway, we're going to do a new segment here. This is going to be we're going to pick 4 to 5 games Heck, we may have picked 6 here. I don't really know what we picked, but we're going to pick the games that we are interested in. We think that you, the listener, need to be watching this weekend because there's so many college football games to choose from. Not only do you watch your team, you want to watch all the other big games if you're a college football fan. So we've tried to go through and find the games that we think are going to be the best games for you to watch. So as we're calling this one, the top Week 10 game selected by Tyler Stockton Sports. And the first game on the docket that we're talking about here is number 25, Kansas State at number 7, Texas. Going to be a good game. Big 12 matchup.
Very good game.
And I hate that Quinn Ewers is hurt because it will just add more to it. But this is going to be a low scoring game, in my opinion. What are you thinking about it?
I wouldn't say extremely low score. We're not going to see like a 17-14. I don't.
No, but I don't think it's going to be anything above 30 on either side.
We'll see. We'll get into my score prediction here in a second. I got it wrote down. So Malik Murphy starting for Texas. This will be his. He's played in 4 games. Last week he truly got the start against BYU. Played pretty solid. He's 20 for 33 on the year, 60.6% completion rate, 217 yards passed, and 2 TDs, 1 interception. Not terrible, not as amazing. Right in the middle of the pack. You look on the other side of the ball, you got Will Howard, 137 for 215, 63% on the year, 14 TDs to 7 interceptions. Pretty good numbers right there. So 2 to 1 ratio on TDs to interceptions.
And I'll add to that about Howard. He hasn't threw an interception in his last 3 games.
Yeah, it started off rough, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he turned it around. That's why we're seeing Kansas State ranked this week. This game is at Texas. That's a very key component. Texas is a hard place to play. It's a very large stadium, very loud. I think that place is going to be rowdy. I think it's going to be a very tough environment. Environments do have effects on the football game. Texas only lost coming to Oklahoma as well, which we know Oklahoma kind of pooped the bed last week.
Pooped it.
It pooped it.
Yep.
But that's their only loss. That game was close too. That game's always close, exception for last year. The Red River rivalry. Say that 10 times.
10 times. Go ahead.
Here we go. No. But yeah, that game was 34-30. So it was a shootout.
Right.
If you remember that game, go back and watch. Both these teams are 4-1 in conference play as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, this conference is all over the place. Everybody's 4-1.
Wide open, man.
Everybody's 4-1.
Yep.
You got Oklahoma, OK State, Iowa State, 4-1.
Yep. And don't OK State play Iowa State this weekend?
Pretty sure.
Yeah, so you're going to thin it out a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be this week's huge for that conference. It really is. You was going over scores a minute ago. I'm just going to give you some rankings, some overall rankings of offense, defense. Texas ranks 21st overall in offense. We know they're a solid offensive team. I think they're going to come back a little bit off points, like you're saying,
right.
With Malik at the helm of the QB. And then 27th overall in defense. So very, very stout, solid defense. Kansas State's 15th overall in offense. They're moving the ball pretty well with the quarterback, Howard, and then 45th overall in defense. I do think they break 30 this game. With that being said, I think it's 31-26 Texas.
I like that. I like that take. I'm glad you brought in those rankings there too.
Yeah.
One guy I want to talk about though is Kansas State. He's their senior inside linebacker, Austin Moore. He's actually tied. I got it wrote down as he's leading.
Just want to give a something up here. Zach Gallen's no bid just ended in the 7th.
Told you. Why'd you mention it?
I apologize to viewers out there tomorrow.
God, we'll never get him on the show.
And guess who it was? Corey Seager.
Of course, it was Corey Seager.
What a man!
If it wasn't Corey Seager, it was Evan Carter. Oh, they scored.
Yep, they scored 1-0.
Evan Carter.
Evan Carter scored?
No, never mind. I don't know who's on third. Carter's on third. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know who hit the ball. Good job. Way to go. Wow.
Glad I could ruin that for if anyone's rooting for Arizona. I'm sorry.
They're trying to skate off elimination with a no, and you just go, that's that Gal got no through 6.
Yeah, literally the next inning.
Oh, anyway, his next outing coming off, he was in a dugout when you said that.
Oh yeah, he's got 0 outs too. Yes, it was me because this is literally
Wow. All right.
I'm just going to cut it off.
Put it on the Ball State game or whatever.
Disney Channel, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was talking about Austin Moore. Actually, I wrote down he's the leading tackler. He's actually tied with their safety for tackles, but he's got 43 tackles on the year. 28 of those are solo tackles. He's literally just leading that defense. And lately, the last 3 games, Kansas State's had the number 1 defense in the country. I know he's talking about ranked 47th, but they've been lights out these last couple of games. It's really like Will Howard's play plus that defense. And
where did they play last week? Home?
Yes, it was at home. Against Houston. And I really just think, I don't really think. Every year, Kansas State's that team that just kind of, they always end up in ranked. It don't matter if they're ranked in the top 10 or top 25, they're there every year. And was it last year that they made the Sugar Bowl or they made the Cotton Bowl or something like that last year?
It far up there, yeah.
Yeah, and they just do it out of nowhere. But that was when they had
top 10 last year, yeah.
And this year they lost a lot from last year's team, and here they are again, creeping right back up. And I know you went with Texas in this one. I really think Kansas State's going to pull this one out. I think they're going to pull the upset. I won't put Texas on upset alert. I'm saying
it's not really upset. I mean, it is because they're 25th versus 7th. I get that, but I wouldn't say it upset.
I mean, it's an upset. Because Texas is, we're back, and you don't lose
this
against
This is like national title, or top 4 for Texas, too. They're 7th.
Oh, yeah,
we didn't mention Texas, so they're a 1-loss team.
And they only lost to Alabama, so.
Yeah, and Alabama looks better now.
I mean, you go back to what you said there for a minute. You're talking about Alabama, watch out for them. Let's say Texas runs the table, wins out, beats Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship. Alabama wins out. Who do you put above Alabama or Texas?
You put Texas above, right?
I don't know, do you?
I think, because Texas beat Bama.
But,
and
again,
then you look at, I don't know.
Back to this one.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. I say Kansas State's going to win this. I think the Wildcats pull this one out. I think they win a 24-17 type game.
Okay, so not too far off on.
No.
I'm saying one more score each for each.
One more score each for each.
31-26, baby. Do you have the money line pulled up on this one for our viewers?
I can get it. Maybe.
Place them bets.
Don't place your bets. You're going to lose your money, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your parents, your bank institution. They're all going to get mad at you and wonder what you're doing. You just deposited $7,000 into your FanDuel. What were you doing? It is. I'll give you where it's playing at. It is a 12 o'clock kick on Fox.
Okay. And
Texas is a 4-point favorite, and the over-under is 49.5.
Wow. Okay. We're right on the money then.
Yep.
Yeah. Big noon kickoff, baby.
Big noon kickoff. All right, let's move on to our next game on this one. Notre Dame Clemson.
Oof. Man. Earlier in the season, if you'd looking at this game on schedule, I thought it was going to be way more important for both these teams. Clemson's been a letdown this year. They really have. I was listening to Dabo talk the other day. He got a little sassy on the radio. I don't know if you saw that or not. It's on Twitter. He had a reporter that was talking to him just kind of about their plays and everything. And he was like, all right, Tyler. Like, just getting really mad because the reporter's name was Tyler. So, yeah, it really cracked me up because Dabo's just, he's not used to losing. And, and people forget the OC leaving, like how effective that's been on this program. And not only that, too, this program's coming from elite quarterbacks a year in and year out.
Yep.
And I'm not throwing shade at Club now. He's coming along.
He's doing better. He's been playing a lot better.
He's doing better.
Yeah.
And they've had some close games. ACC's definitely improved this year from last. So I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying Dabo and that fan base is not used to losing these past 10 years.
I look at it like this, too. We talk about it almost every podcast. You have the ups and downs of college football. Clemson's been on this up.
For a while.
They didn't, usually it's a steady decline. They just kind of went up and then the whole bottom fell out of it this year.
What are they, 5-3?
5-3, 4-3, something like that.
Something like that. So, yeah. This game's definitely bigger for Clemson than it is Notre Dame. Sam Hartman
4-4,
140, 4-4,
4-4.
This game's way bigger for Clemson.
It's a 12 o'clock kick on ABC.
It's at Clemson, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's definitely an advantage. Playing on that stadium's electric too. Um, when they run down the hill and everything, I just love seeing that full sprint out
I
there. But
always
I
want to
love
see one
Sam
on the
Hartman.
ball.
Well, yeah, I mean that'd be funny too. But as long as I don't get hurt,
Yeah,
just want to throw that out there.
don't want to get hurt.
But Sam Hartman, 18 TDs and only 5 interceptions.
Then lights out.
Dude's good. Clemson ranks 49th in total offense. Fun fact that I did not know when looking up these stats: Clemson is 6th overall in defense. I did not know that.
They
so
always have a good defense.
A stout defense. That really surprised me. But with that defense and everything, that's great and all. But the offense just isn't there for Clemson this year, like it has been. I think that's coming along. It's definitely not going to be this season. So give me Notre Dame in this one. I got Notre Dame winning and leaning on Sam Hartman to pull out the dub. I mean, we know Notre Dame's lost to Ohio State 17-14, and then they had a big upset with Louisville,
33-20.
Louisville showed out. They're meant to be in the top 25. So it's not as bad as the loss on paper as it looked originally.
Yeah.
Give me Notre Dame on this one. I got Notre Dame actually 38, Clemson 24.
Okay. My biggest thing here, I ain't going to talk much about it. You kind of touched base. Notre Dame, Sam Hartman, estimate running back. That's you guys. Their defense has been good. Talk about their losses, their wins. Biggest takeaway from Clemson this year, I didn't know about their defense being ranked that high. That's pretty impressive. But they don't really have – they got Will Shipley at running back. I know he ran a little bit last year, ran a lot of jet sweeps for him, played running back, but they really don't have a true running back. Will Shipley is a slot receiver, and they got him playing running back. So that's been a little different for them this year. But I look at it this way. I'm going out on a limb here. They've lost 2 in a row, lost to Miami in double overtime, and then they got beat by NC State at home. I think it was at NC State. So they've lost the last 2 games.
It was a close game too, right?
Yes, it was 24-17. Sorry.
I was about to say, they ain't that close.
But I'm pretty sure this is Clemson's homecoming.
It should be. Yeah, everybody's homecoming should be this week or around this time.
So I'm going to go with Clemson pulling out the upset here. I think a lot of stuff's happened with the media. I think Dabo's trying to go out here and prove a point. I think this team's going to be fired up. I'm not in the locker room. I don't like what I see from the outside of it, but I'm not in the locker room, and Dabo the players seem to love him. And I think he's going to have
let me touch on Dabo. He's a great coach. I'm not saying I'm not bagging on him for being a good coach. I'm just saying he's not used to losing.
Oh, right.
So he's got that winner's mentality. So when I heard him on that talking to that announcer, like that just caught me off guard.
Right.
Because he gets a little sassy when he loses.
Yeah.
But
that's that Southern twang he's got going on with him too.
I know it's kind of funny though. Nick Saban does the same thing.
He does, but I think Clemson pulls off the upset here, and I think that defense. You tell me they're ranked 6 kind of solidifies my upset pick here a little bit more. I'm going to say Notre Dame or Clemson 24, Notre Dame 10.
Ooh, big win, 2 scores.
Yeah.
Like that. I like that bold take there with
and
the Clemson Tigers.
Notre Dame's only a 3-point favorite.
Yeah. That game's normally, that game normally is pretty close. Normally. We'll see. What time is that game again? 12?
12 o'clock on ABC.
So we got 2 at noon, folks.
Yep, got one on Fox and one on ABC. If you get
That's
YouTube
noon
TV,
Eastern, by the way.
You get that YouTube TV, you got that multi-view. You can catch both these games at the same time.
Again, not sponsored by YouTube TV. If we could get sponsored, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, holler at us. We got you.
Holler at us, but multi-view with YouTube TV. Man, let's break it back down to this team we mentioned in last week's pod. We said they're kind of coming alive. You've mentioned them a little bit earlier today too. That is number 23, or not ranked, JMU versus Georgia State.
Yeah, JMU Dukes.
Yes.
The best team in the state of Virginia right now. And it started a whole hashtag now, free JMU. People don't know we've talked about it the last couple episodes. JMU's on a 2-year transition probation, so nothing technically counts this year. They can be ranked in the AP poll, but they can't be ranked in any of the playoff rankings. So technically they're ranked 23rd in the AP, which is the highest they've ever been ranked, but they can't be ranked in the playoff ranking, so it doesn't count. So I'd like to ask the NCAA this. Let's say JMU play Georgia this weekend and goes down to Athens and upsets them. Does that count against Georgia if they lose?
That's a great
That
question.
would be a good question. But speaking of JMU this weekend, they play Georgia State. Last week, this game was shaping up to be a very big Sun Belt game. Both teams had one where JMU was undefeated. Georgia State had one loss. But Georgia State must have heard we was talking good about them and decided to drop a goose egg against Georgia Southern. They decided to lose 44-27 against Georgia Southern, so now they have 2 losses. But they're still a good team. They got the second leading rusher in the country now. Troy's running back's now the leading rusher. But JMU's good all the way around. Offensively, defensively, very, very good. It's hard to find.
Very sound.
It's hard to find many stats about them because they don't want to record anything. But
I got those stats.
No, hit me with them.
Don't you worry. At Tyler's Talking Sports, we get them stats. JMU, undefeated.
No.
That's one stat. Ranks 55th in overall offense, in case you're wondering, and 37th in overall defense. You are correct. They're pretty sound.
Yeah.
That offense could use just a little bit of work, but again, it comes down to their opponents, who they're playing, that sort of thing. So the quarterbacks, he started off really, really good. Now he's kind of came off a little bit these last couple games. Got a few more interceptions in there.
I think the teams are starting to key in. They're trying to make them.
Yeah,
that time of the
you
year.
gotta think they're undefeated mentality, so can't be caught slipping. On this game, Georgia State's definitely no slouch, but they are kind of terrible at defense. They're ranked 99th overall. I think they're 126 in pass defense. So that tells me JMU is going to air the ball out this game.
Yep.
Georgia State's 51st. You mentioned the rush game, 51st in offense. That's right in the middle of the pack, right with JMU. I think JMU is going to have a heyday in the air. I think JMU wins this one big, 45-21.
I agree with you on that. I think JMU comes in and just keeps on trucking, man. Keeps on just plowing over these teams. I think they're on a mission to be undefeated at the end of the year. I think JMU wins this game 38-0.
Ooh! Goose egg.
Goose egg.
Give him the goose.
Give him the goose. All right. Well, let's head to the other big game of the weekend that we got.
Woo!
The Bedlam rivalry. Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. This game is going to be a high-scoring slugfest. It's going to be a huge rebound game for the Sooners, like you mentioned earlier, losing that game to Kansas last week. They're going to come in and try to prove a point here. They lost a lot. That game against Kansas that they lost last week was more than just a loss. That hurt national title stuff. That hurt Gabriel's Heisman stuff.
Heartbreaking.
So they're going to come into this game on a mission, but it's not to overlook a team that's kind of been pretty hot here lately with our boy Ollie and Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy. He's got that team fired up. This game is in Oklahoma State.
Yep.
It's going to be – is it a night game? I didn't look at the time on that one.
I think it's 6 or 7 maybe.
But let's see. Oh, it ain't working. It ain't moving. Nope. It's a 3:30 game on ABC. So if you're watching the Clemson game, Notre Dame, just stay on that channel and you'll be able to watch this game. You don't
bunch of football.
Yeah, bunch of football on ABC this weekend. But Oklahoma is a 5.5-point favorite. With the playoff rankings coming in, Oklahoma is sitting at 9th and Oklahoma State sitting at 22nd. I know the country seems to feel like Oklahoma is going to walk the dog here. I kind of beg to differ.
Disagree.
Yeah, I do. Go ahead. I'll let you have some takes. I'm talking a lot about this one. You go ahead.
Well, Oklahoma, obviously, Gabriel has the ball out. He didn't show up last week. He pooped the bed. The whole team kind of pooped the bed. So Hess is pooping bed right now. He just left the podcast, folks, if you're watching the video. But yeah, I'm not sold on Oklahoma. They should have won that game against Kansas. Good teams, win most games. Great teams win all games, is the saying. So, Oklahoma's a good team, but I don't think they're great. I think they're kind of overhyped a little bit. They got a little too hyped. Oklahoma State, on the other hand, I think we've kind of underrated them. Past couple weeks, we haven't picked Oklahoma State when we're going through this pod, and they've proven us wrong every time.
But we have been mentioning them. We have talked about them.
Yeah, I mentioned them. I think we talked about, West Virginia probably winning that one against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State went up there and scored 28 in the fourth quarter, I think it was, right? Yeah, yes. 28 unanswered in the fourth to win 48-24 or whatever it was. Their offense is pretty good. They got a great running back.
48-34.
Yeah. Defense is not the best, which neither is Oklahoma's. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State on this one. It's at Oklahoma State. I'm gonna go with the Mullet Gang. I've doubted him every time we've had Oklahoma State on here. I've not picked Oklahoma State. So this week I'll pick them so they'll lose again. So give me Oklahoma State.
Taking the Cowboys in Bedlam.
35, Oklahoma 31.
Fun fact here: this is the most expensive ticket of the weekend.
Give me the money. How much?
$300 lowest ticket right now.
That's not too bad.
It's cheaper. It's more expensive than the Georgia Missouri game right now. I want to, before I make my pick here, common opponent, Kansas. Oklahoma lost 38-33. Oklahoma State beat Kansas 39-32. Looks like they played those two teams evenly. The only other game is a common opponent, Iowa State. Oklahoma State lost 34-27, and Oklahoma won 50-20.
It all depends. Let's just be honest. This game all depends on Gabriel.
It does depend on Gabriel, and I just have this feeling, have all week since we started that we was going to talk about this game. I think the Sooners win this one close. I think they got a lot to prove, but I don't think they prove enough. But I do think they win this game close, and I think it's because of Gabriel's legs, not so much his arm, but I think his legs get them the extra touchdown they need, and they win this game by a touchdown.
What about his hips?
Nothing with his hips. He ain't shifty.
His hips don't lie. Shoo. Boy, get it. Dylan Gabriel, I hope you ball out, man. I really enjoyed watching you until that last game. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
Hated to see it. I mean, I enjoyed watching you there, too, but you just looked off that night.
It was a lot of bad weather in that game,
bad.
too.
Yeah, it was bad. They looked good in the second quarter, 21 points unanswered in the second quarter.
They did.
It happens, man. College football.
ACC matchup of the week.
Honestly, this is probably the biggest game for me this weekend. I'm not gonna lie. There's one more on here too that's just as big, but I think this one for our area where we're from, Southwest Virginia, folks. The team we're talking about is Virginia Tech. They're 2 hours away, Lane Stadium, but this game is not going to be in Lane Stadium. It's going to be in Louisville.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll let you kick this one off. Give me your thoughts, and then I'll chime in here.
Biggest thing here with this game is this is the first time in we'll say 3 years, give or take, that Tech's really playing in a meaningful game at this time of the year. And this is their first year head coach coming in this year. It started out bad, didn't look good, and they found a quarterback in Drones. He has been absolutely lights out since he's been a starter, even against Florida State. Even though they lost that game, he's been pretty much lights out. Tech's defense ranked third in the entire country in sacks. They get a pass rush like no other team. Their defense, I think, is ranked in the top 20. I haven't looked up their exact stats, but I'm pretty sure they're in the top 20 in defense overall. Louisville, they got a good offense. Their defense is kind of here lately. They get up a lot of yards to the air. They did beat Duke. I didn't realize they shut Duke out 23-0.
Yeah, 23-0 last week.
Oof. Well, didn't see that one. Missed that one on my notes. But I just think this is such a big game for Virginia Tech.
Let me jump in here. Duke's quarterback, Leonard, didn't play.
Ryan Leonard didn't play in that game.
Yeah, he did not play.
Well, their offense was atrocious without him, so that makes sense.
But their defense is really good, and they scored 23 on that defense.
But did they score 23? They got up on them 14-0. So they went out, but then Duke didn't give up nothing but 9 points after that. But anyway, back to this. I just think this is so much on Tech right now. I think this is more on them to lose this game. Even though they're the underdog in this game, nobody's really giving them a chance. Them losing this game is bigger than Louisville losing this game. And I think Tech's going to come out and wanting this game more. I think Drones is coming out here and he's going to make a national – this game is on 3:30 on the ACC network, so it's not a national broadcast unless you've got your sports packages. But I think Drones just comes out and has a big game. I think the Tech defense gets a pass rush. I think Virginia Tech wins this game solidly. I think they win this game 27-14.
27-14 with the Hokies. You mentioned something there about sacks. Last Thursday, Hokies had the Big Orange, Syracuse, come into town, and they allowed 0 yards, a big goose egg. And that is, a D1 school. That's impressive. I think it was rush defense is
Yeah.
0. I think they did allow pass yards.
It wasn't much. It was
but
only like 90 so.
or 99.
Yeah.
I think maybe something like that. It might have been 108. Something
Yeah.
in that vicinity, very low. That speaks sound. I know it was in Lane. I know it was Thursday night. If you've never been to a game there, it is incredible. I'm not a Hokies fan at all, but at the stadium, I will give respect where respect is due. Kyler Jones, again, he looks like a young Hendo Hooker, Tyrod Taylor, you name it.
Brian Randall. No?
All right.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, I did say you name it, so you named it. But yeah, I also picked the Hokies in this one. I do think it'll be a little bit closer. I think it is going to be a lower scoring game just due to the defenses in this one. So I got the Hokies winning a close one, 24-21.
Louisville is a 9.5-point favorite. The over/under is 48.5. And if there is any Hokie fans out there that's listening, it's like, hey, I don't got nothing to do Saturday. Maybe I want to go to Louisville. You can get a ticket for as low as $35.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't become an SEC fan.
Yeah, don't do that. All right, man. I like it. Both of us going with the Hokies on that one.
Yeah, that's hard for me to admit. So I know we got some Hokie listeners out there, but I really would like to see them pull this off because, and let's give our viewers, people who don't really follow the ACC that much. If the Hokies win this one, they're in second in the ACC.
Yep, they're in the driver's seat.
They're in the driver's seat to make it to the championship if they win this game. So
and they get they would get a rematch against Florida State, and it's really hard. I don't care who you are. I don't care what division you're playing at. It's really hard to beat a team twice.
Don't forget,
in 1 year.
It was 19-21, I think, at the start of the third.
Yeah,
what, right? Something like that. It was really, really close, and then Florida State pulled away 35-19. I think ended up in the final or something like that. Yeah. But still. We got Florida State in the top 4.
But Tech, I feel like that game though too. We'll get off the whole Tech thing. I feel like that game, they went down to Tallahassee. That's a huge environment. That was a super young team, first time ever head coach, former defensive coordinator at Purdue. He hadn't been in an environment like that, and I think that game opened their eyes. Like, hey, we could do something here. Let's clean some stuff up. And since that game, they've been looking really good.
Yeah, they've been playing good complementary football on both sides of the ball. So looking forward. Like I said, this one, I know we got one big one, two big ones left on the page here. But this one really stuck out. Like, I'm looking forward to
I think it's going to be a good game. I'm excited about it. I really am. Go Hokies. Hokies. Hokies! Sorry.
Oh,
sorry, it's been years.
Oh, yeah, for those that don't know, since before we get into the next team, since you brought this up, I mean, you set this one up. Hess used to be a big Hokies fan, folks.
Still like the Hokies.
He still likes them, and it's okay to like multiple teams. No one says you can't. You can be who you want to be. Ain't that right? Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
He just wanted to actually cheer for a national championship team, which I don't blame him.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
I'm a big Georgia fan, too. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. All right. I feel like we're going here every freaking week. Let's head over to the West Coast and talk
Pac-12.
about the Pac-12.
Man, I'll kick this one off for us. You know how we start this here on the Pac-12, Mr. Hess?
Big Penix energy!
Big Penix energy. That's right. Number 5, Washington, traveling to USC. Number 24. This is a big, big, big game.
Big game.
I know people think this is going to be a walk in the park for Penix and that offense against USC, and I agree. USC's defense is horrid. They have not shown up in the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many games there's been on the season. USC's defense has not been there. Lincoln Riley, there was some NFL rumors coming out a couple weeks ago or last week. You're looking at this USC team, and they barely beat Cal. They beat Cal by 1, and Cal could have beat them potentially if they went to overtime, but they went for 2 to try to win the game at the end of the fourth quarter. And USC did come up with the stop there, so therefore USC 150-49. No defense. Offense can be electric. Caleb Williams, I saw where he did drop out of the number 1 draft spot in the NFL. I saw that today. He's dropped back because he has been kind of off these past few games. And that's why we've seen such a fall from USC. And sadly, USC does this all the time. They start off really hot, and then about mid-season here, we're looking at them. They're barely in the top 25. And that schedule, too, is ridiculously tough. I'm not going to lie. They still got Washington,
Oregon?
Oregon?
Yeah.
Oregon, and then
UCLA.
UCLA.
And Oregon
yeah.
State.
And Oregon State. I mean, it's fully ranked opponents. Yeah, that's tough. But you have Caleb Williams. He won the Heisman. He was in contention. He still is in contention. I'm not going to take him out. Yeah, you should be able to compete with this Pac-12. But let's just be honest. Again, it's Big Penix energy. On this one, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot it because I know we've been talking on these teams for a while. We've held up a little bit on Tech there, so I want to get through these pretty quickly. But give me Washington. And it's going to be big.
I like Washington.
49-24.
I like Washington in this as well. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I think it's an intriguing matchup because USC comes out and plays what we all thought USC was going to be this year. USC can pull off an upset and would completely cause chaos, which is me as a fan. I love chaos. Give me all the chaos you can give me. Let all the top teams lose.
Chaos.
Give me all of it. But I just don't see it happening. The way USC's been playing, even if Caleb Williams comes out here and has the best game he's had all year, he just keeps the game close. That defense is absolutely god-awful. I haven't seen a USC defense that bad in my lifetime. Can't time one time that they've been that bad.
He's 46.
No, I'm not. I'll be 32 in a month. But I just think it's going to be Big Penix energy. Michael Penix is going to go off. I think Washington comes out and makes a statement in the Coliseum. I think they're up by 40 at half, and I think they end up winning 60-27.
Whoa, 6-0.
Yeah, 60-27.
What time is this game? 7?
This is a 7 o'clock game, yes.
Yeah, big game. So I got prime time. I get that. Yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie, I think yours is a little bit of a stretch. But if that offense gets clicking, hey.
Hear me out, folks. This weekend, 12 o'clock, ABC. You got Clemson, Notre Dame. Then, 3:30, ABC. You got Oklahoma, Oklahoma State. Then, at 7 o'clock on ABC, you got USC, Washington. You don't have to leave ABC at all. So if you're one of them people who don't even have anything fancy, you don't want to spend the money, go out, get you one of them cheap $5 AV antennas, and you'll get ABC. You can watch all 3 of these games.
I love it. Now, he is sponsored by the $5 TV, right?
Yeah.
So that was an actual promo there. So no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, what Hess is getting at, don't make plans Saturday. It's going to be some good college football.
Except, I hope that you choose to watch this game over the 7:30 USC game, and that is the LSU Alabama game in Tuscaloosa. Number 13 LSU playing the one loss, number 8 Alabama Crimson Tide.
What a game, right?
What a game. This seems like every year, no matter which way these teams are playing, this game always has some kind of big implications of some sort. And here we are, which I didn't realize this. LSU's the number 1 offense in the country. They're the highest scoring offense in the country. Bama's defense is actually ranked 16th in the country, but they haven't played an offense other than Tennessee's offense that's been ranked, I think, above like 20th all year. So that's been kind of a thing. Is their defense really that good?
I think so. I think Bama's defense.
It's fast.
As a Tennessee fan, they showed out that second half. They are good. There's a lot of 5-star recruits on that defense. What I'm just going in on the defense. I'll let you get back to your tape.
Nope. LSU's defense is ranked 75th in the country. LSU, like I said, is ranked number 1 in the country in total yards. They're ranked. They got 553 total yards. Sorry, I had a weird noise in my headset there. What is happening? Got weird.
That's his antenna, folks.
It's my antenna. What is happening?
Well, YS is having technical difficulties.
Oh, we're good now.
Evan Carter is 1 for 3 right now with a double in the 7th, so he was actually the reason. I think they took the lead. So I might have misspoke a minute.
No,
ago.
It was the catcher.
It was Corey Seager?
It was Garver hit a single and Corey Seager scored on it.
Oh, well, he hit a double. Evans hit a double. It's 1-0 right now, and Arizona is in a pickle. They have 1 out and bases loaded with their man.
Evan Carter's at bat.
Evan Carter, baby.
If he hits the grand slam, we're in the podcast right here.
Yep.
Hits a granny. It's over.
Oh, it's out of here!
Oh, God almighty.
It's gone!
Uh,
Be like that Yankees announcer. It's gone! And it's out.
yeah.
Anyway, back to let's get back.
Yeah,
back to the game. You good on your
yeah,
noise?
good. I had some kind of notifications for the PC coming in. Yeah, I got you, Harbaugh. I got the plays. All right, man. I know what he's about to do. I got you. Anyway, I just think this game is going to be probably the best game of the year. I think we're going to look back, and this is going to be the game we look back at. We're all like, that was the best game of the year. Yeah. Bama is a 3.5-point favorite, but they are at home. I get it. It's hard to win in Tuscaloosa. It's a 7:00 game, so it's a night game on CBS in Tuscaloosa. They're going to be singing Dixieland Delight. They're going to be in their houndstooth shirts and looking all pretty and being loud. And the thing is, can Brian Kelly win a big game? Can he get this? Can he do this? He did it last year, but it was in home. It was in Baton Rouge, night game, Death Valley. That's another place that's almost impossible to win. Do you think Brian Kelly can he win the big game? Can he do it this weekend?
With who he has at quarterback, yes.
Okay.
He has the quarterback. I want to touch on some points you made there, too. You mentioned LSU's the highest offense. LSU ranks first in total yards with 553 yards. Bama only allows 306 yards per game. So that's going to be a little bit of a factor in this game. I think Bama's defense does slow down Daniels and that offense just a little bit. I do think LSU will get it figured out. Tennessee had it figured out in the first half. LSU is going to figure it out, too. The question is, can LSU compete with Alabama for 4 quarters at Alabama? Nick Saban's going to come in with an amazing game plan, as he always does. So you asked if Brian Kelly can win that big game. In this case, no,
God,
he cannot.
Brian Kelly
Nick Saban
can't
pulls this one out. Last year, you made a good point. 2022 LSU won 32-31 overtime. That was a heck of a game.
And they went for 2. They went for 2 in overtime and won the game.
They did. That was amazing.
Yes.
They caught that ball
in the corner. Yes, great game.
Yeah, great game. But this isn't Bama. Bama's a hard place to play. I found that out, and we know that. Bama leads this series too, 55-27 overall. So Bama's still
Hey! There were 5 ties in that series.
Sorry, I didn't throw out the ties. I have it right here. Thanks to you for doing this note. But yeah, in the last 6 matchups too, you also put this down. Bama's won 4 out of 6.
Yes, sir.
So I still got Bama winning this one. Bama's just been gritty. We haven't talked about them since that Texas loss. Everybody's overlooking them.
They're quiet.
It's
scary.
That's kind of scaring
Yep.
me. Yeah. I mean, it's still Alabama, folks. I know, as a Tennessee fan, we don't like them, but they're good. They're a good football team. Actually, they're great. I think
not
Bama,
to interrupt
Bama,
you, but Diamondbacks just got out of that jam and they give up a run.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Double play?
They struck out Evan Carter, then got a ground out to short and got the final out, so still 1-0.
I do think, though, this game, and I'm going to get to my take since we're, rolling up on the hour, and we still got to get into a little bit of baseball, which we've been doing live, but, it's going to come down to the quarterback, Milroe, for Alabama. Can he play like he did the second half against Tennessee? Can he play 4 quarters like that? If he can, Alabama has playmakers at wide receiver. Running back, I still can't tell you who the running back is because Milroe pretty much runs over everybody or takes off running himself. So they do have playmakers. It's there. Give me Bama in a close one. I think this is going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be very similar to last year. Last year it was 32-31. This year I got 35-34.
Ooh.
Close.
Well, my pick's kind of already been given away based off who I thought will be the final 4 teams in the playoff. And one, I think Brian Kelly gets this whole Alabama. He couldn't beat him when he was at Notre Dame. He beat him last year. I think he's finally figured out he's got an LSU. He can do it there. But outside of Brian Kelly, Jane Daniels is going to absolutely go off in this game. He is going to – I think he's going to have his Heisman – What are you doing, man? God almighty. Anyway, I think Jane Daniels has his Heisman moment. I think he goes off in this game. I think they got a better running game. They got better receivers. I do worry about LSU's defense. But in this game, I think the offense and the environment and everything, I think it's going to hype them up. I think they're going to have the best game they've had. I do agree with you, though. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game. It's going to be close. I'm going to say final score 32 LSU, 28 Alabama.
Okay. Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's going to be honestly, I think it's going to come down to who has the ball last, who's driving, who's making that final drive, who can complete that final drive.
This game could really be even more. I mean, it could be more than that. It could be – I just think it's close. I think if the game's playing low scoring, it stays low scoring. But if they come out and they're just gunslinging, then I think it's just all the way through the end of it. So I think you're looking
So you got Bama big 56-7. So
no, I didn't say that at all.
Wow, roll Tide.
Whoa. Cooks Tigers.
Man, good takes. Good takes this week. We got some great football to look forward to, folks.
Very excited.
Like I said, don't make too many plans Saturday. I will be. I'm gonna go ahead and give the viewers a little bit of heads up. The next pod, I will be recording at a new location for the next one.
Yeah, he's moving. His wife left him because he keeps doing a podcast, and she's like,
every night,
"You need to get out. I'm tired of this. Even in your sleep, you're talking about sports. I'm getting tired of it."
She probably is tired of me just rattling off. I love it. I'll be like, "Hey, rattling off facts."
It's so bad facts here at the Hess household. My wife and kids are not here.
Left them, folks. No. That's why y'all got to support us.
Yeah, this is all we got.
That's all we got.
You all.
Sports.
Each follow on everything, it's like it gives us another second or a minute of life. We appreciate it.
It really does. We really do. In all seriousness, we really do appreciate the likes, follows, shares.
Absolutely.
It really does mean a lot to us. We never take it for granted.
We get super excited.
We really do. It's like I told Hess today. I was like, dude, we got a follower from Florida. And he was like, oh, yeah, it's the same guy. But he actually followed us this time instead of just liking our stuff. So that was cool. Cool to see. So, yeah, keep helping us out. We love it. And we're going to continue to do it. Yep. So let's move on to the next sport. We're finally going to come off college football. We've been talking about college football for an hour, which we normally do because right now college football is at the height. But we're also at the height of something else, Hess. You know what that is?
What is that?
That is the World Series.
The World Series. Game.
Which is ongoing right now, as you all know.
Yes.
When you all hear this, you already know who won if the Rangers pulled it off. Right now, it's the bottom of the 8th. So by the time we wrap up this pod, we very well can know ourselves. But let's back it up a little bit. I don't want to go too much into baseball since we're already to this game. When we're doing our notes and stuff, we kind of have to day-to-day our notes because we're not sure what's going to happen in the sports world. It changes all the time. Right. But if you do keep up with baseball, if you do watch the World Series, you know that Max Scherzer had to leave Game 3. He had to leave it early. He had a strained oblique.
Yep, strained oblique.
And then Garcia also too. Same exact problem. Strained oblique. So those two are out.
They're actually off the
remainder of out of the World Series. They're not going to come back if there does happen to be a Game 7. They're not going to be available, right. Which is huge. If Arizona wins this game and finds a way to tie it the next game to go 3-3, because Scherzer would be your 7th game pitcher more than likely. So now that definitely puts it either do you pitch Jordan Montgomery, do you go with Heaney again? Who are you going to have to go to pitch that 7th game, and that could be huge. So Rangers need to figure out a way to pull it off here.
I think it's wild too. Like if the Rangers do pull this off, this is Game 5. They ended up winning Game 3 and 4 to go up 3-1 in the series. They win tonight with Game 5. It's over. The Rangers will be World Series champions. They've been around since 1921. Never won a World Series. They've been to, I think this is their 3rd World Series appearance. Could be wrong.
Correct.
Could be their 2nd or 3rd, but you say 3rd.
2010, 2011.
Fun fact.
I think.
About this. Well, a record. I feel like this postseason's had so many just things. First time ever things. But the Rangers, at the time, were the first team after they won Game 3, the first team ever to win 9. They were 9 undefeated on the road in the postseason. As of tonight, they're 10-0 on the road, and if they win tonight, they'd be 11-0 on the road, undefeated in the postseason, which is absolutely unheard of. They're like home field advantage. We don't care about it. We'll play baseball. It's all the same. It's all a diamond. It's all 3-4 bases, pitch and mound. We got it. So I think that's pretty wild. Biggest thing for me in this series, I know we've been talking a lot about Evan Carter. I know we've been talking about the pitching. We've been talking about Corbin Carroll. We've been talking about Ketel Marte. Corey Seager. I've never been a big fan of Corey Seager. I didn't like him when he was on the Dodgers. I didn't take much to the signing of when he came to the Rangers. He was there last year. and didn't do much. This year he started out really slow. But I think he found out. I think he's the reason the Phillies lost. He found out whatever Harper and them guys were drinking, and now he's been drinking it because he's been lights out up until this game. He had three hits last night. His third hit
tonight.
It was a home run because his 3 previous hits were all home runs.
It's a ribby though. It's a single. Yeah. He's the one that got him on the board.
So I mean, he was the one that scored. He was the run scored.
Oh, well, he was on base.
It was Garver that had the RBI single.
Sorry, you already said that. My apologies.
It's okay.
You said the catcher.
Pay attention.
God, you keep talking. I'm going to go back to my notes.
Mitch Garver.
Keep talking.
I mean, I don't know. You can read your notes. I don't want to interrupt in what you're reading. Maybe you have something good in those notes. I just think
I was trying to find what. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think the D-backs here. I mean, obviously they got to win this game, but their back's against the wall. Even if they win this game, their back is absolute. Because after this game, it goes back there.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you said back to Arizona, but you meant Texas.
Yeah, you about said Houston.
But honestly, though, I think Arizona's at an advantage when they're playing Texas at Texas because Texas doesn't play as good at home.
Arlington.
So I really think this game is very crucial for Texas to win. More so, I mean, obviously, more so for the Diamondbacks because they lose, they're out. But yeah, you mentioned Corey Seager, and I just want to give a fun fact for you. Seager now has 19 home runs. This was before tonight, so obviously I don't have exact stats right now because I'm trying to do the podcast and watch the game. So 19 home runs in the playoffs. Reggie Jackson had 18.
That's your October.
Seager also tied Reggie with RBIs at 48. Fun fact again, in 77 games. They both did this in 77 games in the postseason.
Really?
The only stat that Reggie is leading on is his overall batting average in the postseason was 278, while Seager was 251. So the question is, if Seager ends up winning this World Series, is he Mr. October?
I don't. Okay.
I mean,
we could say this.
Same stats.
I did see that. I seen the picture comparison.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest. Everybody, if they have a big moment in the playoffs, they get compared to Reggie Jackson.
Reggie Jackson is Mr. October, just like Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. LeBron's good. LeBron might be better, but Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time.
That's basketball.
Reggie Jackson. Michael Jordan played baseball.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
get to your point.
Reggie Jackson will always be Mr. October. This could be Seager, Harper, whoever you want to talk about. They could be Mr. October, junior, senior, the third, the fourth, the fifth, whatever. But Reggie Jackson's always Mr. October. But Seager's putting up some crazy numbers.
Just want to give an update to our viewers as we're watching this live. It is now going to the top of the ninth. Right? Or bottom of the eighth.
No, it'd be top 9 if they got the out.
Top 9.
Your TV's ahead of me.
Yeah.
You're ahead of me.
You're ahead of me. It was a nice strikeout. You want me to tell you what happens?
No.
I'll tell you what happens while we're
I'll bet $5 it don't happen.
Who do you have winning right now before we don't know?
D-backs are going to win.
D-backs come back in the
bullpen's about to blow for the Rangers.
Are they going to pick Chapman?
They've already pitched him. They pitched him in the 7th.
Okay, thank God. No, they're good. Rangers are solid. Give me the Rangers. Rangers pull it off. Win the first World Series in history. Love to see it. Just want to throw this fact out here. Hess called Diamondbacks in 7. I called Rangers in 7. So if the Rangers could do it in 5, that's a win.
We both overbid. If this is the price,
I still buy it.
If this is the price is right, we're both out.
But I might have picked the right team.
Oh my God.
So that's a win. In today's society, that's a win.
Whatever. Okay. Anyway, we'll figure out what happens. We'll figure it out in the morning. Let's talk about real quick. NFL had some news out of the NFL this morning, around 4 a.m. this morning, which lo and behold, I was up. The Raiders decided to clean house and fire Josh McDaniels, their GM, and their offensive coordinator. That was reported later on. They fired Michael Lombardi as well. They also decided to bench Jimmy G and going with the rookie.
Don't blame them. They're squashing this season. It's already squashed.
Fun fact, for all you Raiders fans out there, you're paying $80 million for 2 coaches that ain't playing for you anymore, or coaching for you, and Josh McDaniels and John Gruden. So way to go there. That's the big news that happened in the NFL today. want to touch base on?
There's a couple more big news. There's a couple more. I just want to jump in there. Josh Dobbs.
Well, that was yesterday. I was getting ready to talk about it. That was yesterday.
Oh, God.
That was yesterday.
Our viewers are listening.
Okay. That was Tuesday's trade deadline I was about to talk about.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I give an update on NFL? God, I thought this was Tyler's Talking Sports. Anywho, Josh Dobbs to the Vikings. What do you think about that, Hess?
I mean, I'm glad to see him get another opportunity to start. I mean, I hate it in the circumstances it is for Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins, did you see how he delayed his surgery so he could still go to that children's event and do the pass?
He's an awesome guy.
He did it was like a luncheon or something, meet children at a children's hospital. He delayed his surgery just so he could still go meet those kids, throw football with them. He was riding around on the little one-leg thing. I hate it for him. I hate it for Kirk Cousins, but it's another opportunity for Josh Dobbs. Dude's intelligent. Dude's a good quarterback. I've said it time and time again. He reminds me a lot of Tyrod Taylor, bouncing around the league, plays good, does good, doesn't make mistakes. I mean, every quarterback makes mistakes, but he doesn't make those stupid mistakes that you see.
Yeah, he's smart.
I don't think the Vikings are going to start him this week just to get him used to the playbook and everything like that, but I say he'll be starting after this week.
Yeah, I think you're right. This was a huge win for the Vikings, in my opinion. I mean, I know they wasn't wanting to get a quarterback at the moment. I mean, obviously they just wanted to play Kirk Cousins, but they also got a 5th-round draft pick for next year. And honestly, this kind of a letdown for the Cardinals, if you ask me. They're just getting a 6th round next year, so I don't know what they're going to do with that 6th round. Of course, they're expecting Murray to come back. I think next week.
Yes.
Potentially, I think they're also playing a different quarterback this Sunday. So. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I thought that was a pretty big trade. I don't want to spoil the other one, so I'll let you give it.
The other one, there was a lot of trades yesterday, but none bigger than this one, because this just made a really good defense that, with a team that's been struggling here lately, absolutely dangerous. Now you have the 49ers have Nick Bosa on the left-hand side of the field on defense, and on the right hand they're going to have Chase Young.
I don't know how they pulled that off.
For what they got it for, I don't get it either.
Yeah, they stole it.
Yes. Like, what a trade. If I'm a 49ers fan right now, I'm like, what?
I was reading, though, where the Commanders owner said that he didn't like Young. He just said he was very undisciplined, just had a sour taste in his mouth, his exact words. On the season, Young has 15 tackles, 5 sacks. Pretty solid. Yeah. I mean, nothing shabby there.
I think that ownership's just tired of what was there prior to them coming in.
All Washington is getting out of this, though, is a 3rd-round draft pick.
Yeah. And I think it's crazy, too, that now you've got Nick Bosa and Chase Young back together. They were college teammates at Ohio State. Bosa was the number 1 overall pick in that draft, and Chase Young was the number 2 overall pick in that draft, and now they're teammates. So,
yeah, Chase Young's a stud.
Put him on that defense.
And I think he'll do very well in
right.
San Francisco. So huge win for San Francisco.
I'm a Niners fan. I'm super happy.
Shout out to Caleb Johnson for actually talking about this segment earlier today. He was telling me that the owner of the Washington Commanders is also the owner of the Philadelphia 76ers, and we know what happened with James Harden over the night. I believe it was Monday night. So he made some big trades this week.
He was like, I don't like you people. Bye.
He did. He threw out some big names there. So
isn't Magic Johnson part of the ownership group with the Commanders? I
have no idea. This was reported to me from reporter Caleb Johnson.
Magic Johnson's part of that ownership group. He's part of the whole Commanders.
We'd have to look that up. Maybe he was just tired of it too. That's some big names. They just
they got rid of Montez Sweat. They sent him to the Bears, which was another. He's a great defensive tackle, but I mean, he went to the Bears. So that's why I didn't really.
It's buy or sell time right now, truly. So that's what we're starting to see.
So let's talk about the Thursday night game real quick. Who you got? Titans, Steelers. Go. I already know you're going with Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans.
How'd you know?
Because it's Will Levis.
Steelers.
Oh,
I never go against Steelers.
Oh, well, Will Levis wins the 2nd game in a row. Close game, very low scoring, 17-14 Tennessee.
Is Pickett playing? That's the real question.
I don't know.
I know he's out with a rib injury. I don't know if that's been released yet. I did want to touch on Will Levis real quick since you're a fanboy of Will Levis. He had 4 touchdowns last week against the Falcons.
286 yards.
I thought the Falcons were terrible. They're ranked 6 overall in total defense.
Yes.
Did not know that. Yeah. And he went 19 for 29, so that is kind of scary. This game, though, is at Pittsburgh. Yeah. And
It'll be
if you've
cold.
ever had a terrible towel, that place is insane. So, yeah, give me Steelers. Even if Mitch Trubisky's playing, that is hard for me to say. God, that is hard for me to say.
I'll say this. I mean,
that's going to be a close game.
I've kind of been
This game's huge for both.
It
these
is
programs.
it's not programs anymore.
Oh, God.
It's NFL.
Why can't I say program?
It's not a program. It's a business.
Huge for these teams.
Thank you.
Smart Alec, folks.
Anyway,
that's what you get here at Tyler's Talking Sports.
Yeah, did I say Titans win this game 17-14?
You said you're a bully.
Oh, Titans 17-14.
17-14. I like it. Steelers defense, though, man. We'll see.
All right, man. We got a couple more topics to cover. Where do you want to bounce to? You want to chip to the next one? Do you want to dribble to the next one? Do you want to...
Let's dribble, and then little dribble, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh.
And then we'll chip.
Okay, I got you.
And then we'll kick.
Oh, I got all that. I know exactly where we're going.
You know exactly. Okay, you take us there, brother. Let's see if he gets that, folks.
All right, NBA focus, guys, here at Tyler's Talking Sports.
Boom, he got it.
NBA here. Oh, God, I think he broke his elbow. He just people's elbow to desk.
Oh, I did.
I'm just going to kind of run through some things. I ain't going to say too much about the NBA. It's just getting started, and NBA is a long season. And right now, every team's just trying to figure out what they got, what they don't got. Castle's talking big about Damian Lillard. We both like Damian Lillard. Second game out, he had the debut, what was it, 36 points? 39, and then comes out and drops 6 the next game.
And it's the second game of the season. You're forgetting something. They played Miami since we last had our notes down. They whooped Miami 122-114. Lillard had 25. They also played tonight. I don't know the final score.
They lost.
They lost. I don't know. They did lose. They were losing.
I'll check.
They were losing pretty big when I looked. It was like 83-99.
83-99.
Mm-hmm. They were losing pretty big.
All right. Bucks lost to the Raptors 130-111.
How many points did Dame Lillard have?
Damian Lillard for the Milwaukee Bucks had 15 points.
15.
Yes, he was second in scoring behind Michael Beasley, who had 20.
Giannis didn't have... Shoo.
Nope, Giannis had 6. Nope, sorry, he was third. Giannis had 16.
That's a rough night for them.
Every player other than one was in the minus category as far as...
That's just what you call a rough game.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. This team's still trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to find identity. Like you said, this is the start of the NBA season. Very high on Dame time. Love Dame.
Yeah.
So even though he scored 6, it's the second game of the season. I'm not concerned.
Holy crap. The Celtics won 155-104.
They won by 51 points.
They won by 51 points. Como scored 160. Holy cow. They beat the Pacers.
I saw that pop up. Yeah.
They beat the Pacers. Man. What was who led them in scoring? Holy cow.
Honestly, I know I picked the Bucks to win the championship this year, but
Celtics team.
I totally forgot about Kristaps or Porzingis being on Boston this year. And when I watched that first game, I said, "Oh my God."
And they got it.
That team could be lethal.
And the big thing with him is he's always played power forward everywhere he's been. The Celtics got him playing center.
Yeah.
And he's dominating.
Celtics stole him.
He had plus. Every player for the Celtics was in plus territory this game. Tatum had 30 points, 12 rebounds.
That team's good.
4 assists. Porzingis had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, no blocks. Holiday had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Who was next? Oh, everybody on their team scored double digits except for like a couple bench players. Wow. 155 points by them. Run through some more scores real quick. The Cavaliers beat the Knicks 95-89.
That's a big win. Cavs. Nobody's talking about the Cavs.
Nobody's talking about
them. The Cavs are good.
Timberwolves beat the Nuggets 110-89. Trailblazers beat the Pistons 110-101. Hawks beat the Wizards 130. Man, big scores tonight. 130-121.
No defense.
Nets beat the Heat 109-105.
Heat struggled.
Rockets beat the Hornets 128-119. Mavericks beat the Bulls 114-105. And currently, There's 3 games going on right now. One of them that I was kind of wanting to get our picks on before it finishes out, but 2 of them going on. You got the Grizzlies and the Jazz. Grizzlies are down Jazz are up 102 to 68 late in the third.
Golly.
Warriors are
John Morant still not playing, folks. He won't be back till January.
Right. And then the Kings are up 47 to 41. 6 minutes left till halftime on the Warriors.
Hold up. Don't mean to stop you on basketball, but we just had something big happen in baseball.
Oh, man.
The Rangers are now up 5-0. So if anybody's bullpen blew up, it looks like the Diamondbacks.
What happened?
I don't know. I looked up. It was 1-0. Next thing I know is 5-0.
What in the world?
Something happened. They're looking pretty good, folks.
Yeah, it's looking like the Rangers are going to get the first World Series, guys.
That's awesome. That is awesome. But yeah, I didn't mean to take away from basketball. But, if I had to pick 2 teams right now, which is probably, everyone's top 2, at least if you watch basketball, they have the highest odds at the minute. I got Denver in West. I'm going to have to go with the Celtics in the East at the moment. I know it's very, very early. Again, I still think the Bucks will come through. I think they'll figure it out. Hopefully. I'd love to see Dame get it. But that Boston team with Porzingis is the key. Because now they have a true, like Hess saying, that he's playing like a true big man. You have Jason Tatum. God, that offense be lights out. Great defense too. Great head coach. Yep. Great. Boston's just great this year.
Yeah, kind of. It looks like it's gonna be their year.
But I do want to say something. We had a big trade I just mentioned earlier. James Harden to the Clippers.
Battle of LA tonight.
Clippers could be dangerous if they figure it out. If they don't have too much of an ego problem.
And they got Kawhi.
Yeah, they got Kawhi, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. Yeah.
Did you see the video?
Yeah, Philly didn't get anything great either in that trade. So that's what I'm saying. I do not understand what that owner, what he's doing. But he sees something that we don't see.
Well, I think a lot of he listens. I mean, don't get me wrong. Harden's defense is lazy, but Harden could go out there and score 55 points every game if he wanted to.
But he's also a lot of drama. That's a big thing.
But I think getting him and Russell Westbrook back together could be pretty nasty.
Could be.
Back to the Rangers thing to figure out what happened. I found out Haim hit a single to center, Jung scored, and Lowe scored to make it 3-0, and then Simeon came up and hit a home run to left center, a 2-run home run to make it 5-0.
Simeon's been solid.
He might be. Is he going to be the MVP?
He could.
Him or Seager?
It's going to be. Or I mean, you could put Carter in that conversation too, or Garcia if he was healthy.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean that. I don't know who they're going. It's probably going to go Corey Seager if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Wow.
But yeah, let's. I want to jump on anything else on basketball.
I just want. Who do you think going to win tonight? Battle of LA. Harden's not playing. Lakers, Clippers.
Lakers.
Lakers. I'm gonna say Clippers. Just disagree with you.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Now, let's talk about the big news in college basketball this week. There was a huge recruit out there. This dude's like 6'50". He's got a wingspan bigger than your house. He's
6'50". I love it.
He's been talked about for about the last 2 years. I've been talking about him. Me and Castle made the joke about him. Not joking about the kid, but don't know nothing about him. But we called him the flagpole because he is so tall. But Cooper Flag. Everybody, crystal ball predictions, everything said this kid's going to UConn, and he said, nope, going to Duke.
Going to Duke. Yeah, he ranks up there, in my opinion, with Zion Williamson, Jason Tatum, the big recruits that Duke always got. I was going to say, what all those have in common? Duke. The big blue chip players. He's definitely the biggest player Duke's had.
The biggest recruit John Shire's had since he took over.
John Shire, since Coach K has left. I'm looking forward to seeing it. He's going to come into Duke's a great organization. I think they're coming in this year. I don't think they have the final AP poll out just yet.
They're a great program.
But they're second. Yeah, I think they're second is what they're projected to be at the start of this year. So he's going to come into a great program. John Shire's an amazing head coach. I like Duke. I've always loved Duke. Big recruit news there. That's definitely huge for Duke. Shout out to Shire for getting that one. That might help him out too in the recruiting trail.
And some other things. A lot of people didn't know there was a Maui charity expedition basketball tournament going on this weekend to raise some money for the victims of the terrible fires happening in Hawaii. And big upset kind of happened. I didn't realize that everybody was actually playing, but again, it's an exhibition game. But Tennessee upset Michigan State. I can't remember what the score was, but
it was 1 point game. It was 89-88 Tennessee. Tennessee owned that game most of the game. They let them get close there at the end. Tennessee's no slouch this year. Even Tom Izzo said Tennessee could be a Final Four team.
Both them teams could be Final Four teams.
Just because they're so deep. They're about 12 men deep. So, Tennessee's fun to watch this year. I don't want to get into too much, but they got Ziegler back, Vescovi back, James Jordan back. So they're stout. They got a lot of experience there. I think Rick Barnes, this will probably be his best team since like the Kevin Durant, honestly. Could be.
Wow, Kevin Durant, Texas days.
Tennessee, by the way, is projected to win the SEC. Just saying.
Go Georgia. Watch out. Woo! Anyway, we're going to talk more about college basketball as we get closer to the season, but if we see big news come up, stuff happen, we're going to throw it in there because we both love college basketball. It's a fun time of the year. I love it because you have college basketball like every night. But anyway, let's talk about the little white ball. Let's talk about the PGA.
Ping pong. Oh, sorry.
No, not Forrest Gump ain't doing nothing this weekend, man.
I thought we was doing ping pong championship player here. No, we're doing the Worldwide Technology Championship.
Yes, sir.
It's in Cabo. Cabo, Mexico, baby. First time in Cabo.
First time in Cabo.
I like this note that you put here. Tiger Woods designed this course. Yes. It's a very large course. No rough at all.
No rough at all. There's no rough at all on the thing. It's mostly desert. There's actually one water hazard, but it's on a par 3 and you drive over top of it unless it's me up there driving, then I probably hit the water.
Par 3 with a water hazard. Gotta love it.
The fairways are the largest fairways in the entire PGA. Like, huge. Like, you shouldn't lose a ball.
Yeah, fairways. Yeah. So if you can drive ball straight, you can drive ball, slice it, you can drive ball fade. It don't matter. Is what you're telling me. Very open course, not a great field. I agree with that.
Yeah, ain't many big names in it.
I looked at the lineup. Kuchar is one of the biggest ones playing this weekend. In case people watch golf, Matt Kuchar.
Cameron Young.
Cameron Young's in it too. I don't know. It could be interesting. Who do you got to win this?
Hassler. Hassler's going to win this one, and I think he wins this one just because it's not a big, deep field, but he's been playing pretty consistent here lately, and he is.
Just want to say, Rangers just won the World Series.
Tell,
Rangers are World Series champions.
Strike out Marte.
Must have. I didn't see it. I just see him jumping around on the mound.
Yep.
Hats off to the Rangers.
Ketel Marte went down looking.
God. I'm going to go back to my messages tomorrow morning, and I'm going to see when I told you to watch out for the Rangers. I'm going to get the date.
Oh.
I don't know why I don't trust myself sometimes when I do these bets.
That would have been a good one. Good money on that one. Heck, if I would have just put money on the Orioles making the playoffs, they had a 0.06% chance to make the playoffs. Yeah. But anyway, back to golf. I'm going with Hassler.
Back to golf.
He's 30-1 odds. You put money on Hassler this weekend, you're going to get a pretty good payday there. I'm going with Hassler. The other odds, Cameron Young's 11-1. Excuse me if I get this name wrong. You can correct me. Ludwig Aberg.
Aberg.
He is the favorite at 9-1. And then Saith. And then Thagala, yes. He's 16-1. So
yeah, I like Thagala. He was close. I can't remember if it was last week.
It was last week. He's been
or 2 weeks ago because it was off last week.
Yeah,
Zozo Championship. I think he finished top 20. I think.
Is that who you're going with? Thagala?
That is not.
Oh,
I'm going with one you didn't even have in the odds here. I'm going with Lucas Glover.
I looked at Lucas Glover. I thought put him up there, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's making
Danny Glover's brother.
Fall debut. I didn't realize this either. He's ranked 18th in FedEx stands.
Yeah.
Tied 18th.
Yep.
I'm going to go with Glover. I think he strikes the ball low. It's what you have to hit on this course, what I was reading before I was trying to pick my pick. So he definitely stood out to me when I was going through and reading. So I'm going to go Lucas Glover.
I like it. Got a couple more little things we want to talk about here. Let's go kick. Let's kick the ball. Let's kick.
Lionel Messi.
Yeah, so you can talk about this one.
Wins Beyond d'Or for 8th time.
The hell is that?
You don't know what that is?
Nah.
It's the most valuable soccer
In the
player
world?
in the world.
Ooh.
Sorry, let me take that back. They don't like it when you say soccer player. Most valuable footballer in the world. Yeah, that is his 8th time winning that. That's now 3 times higher than Ronaldo. Ronaldo's won it 5 times. Messi's now won it 8. Messi's only 36. He's also, too, the first MLS player to ever win this award. Since he came over to Miami.
Wow.
Fun fact for you. He's played 14 games in Miami. He scored 11 goals in those 14 games.
Yeah, I think he's leading the MLS in goal scores.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Pretty good
soccer. Yeah, he's helping the team too win its first ever piece of silverware, the League's Cup, which we know, they won that too. So that's probably why he got the coveted prize of winning that for the 8th time. Lionel Messi's the greatest soccer player of all time, in my opinion. Love him.
Yeah.
Would love to go watch him play. My God, pull out the checkbook.
Yeah, pull out the checkbook. Take a credit card too.
You was talking about expensive tickets there earlier. You said $300. That wouldn't even probably get you on nosebleeds.
You won't be able to park.
This guy. Yeah, I'm gonna try somehow to go see him.
It will be cool to see.
He might come to Charlotte next year, maybe. That's the thing too. In case I don't know if we have any soccer listeners out there, but if you do want to go see somebody like Lionel Messi or something, certain fields he won't play on because of the turf.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's worth a lot of money. So I don't blame him.
You'll never see him in Atlanta because he won't play on artificial turf. He'll only play on natural grass.
Correct. So if you're trying to plan out like the World Cup, trying to go see, you want to have to pick your.
Well,
if he plays the World Cup.
But Argentina did say that they want him on the national team if he wants to be a part of it, and the FIFA Federation has said that they've already took SoFi out of the which is the Rams Stadium. They've took them out of the World Cup.
Sophie.
Yeah, they took them out and one more because they have artificial turf, and they didn't want to switch to natural grass. So if it's not a natural grass field, they will not play on it.
Not a natural grass.
Natural grass field. Yep. All right, man. Let's finish this thing up. We got an ending question to episode 8 here, and the ending question that I have, and you all can comment, message, email, post. This will be live on the Spotify. If you listen to it on Spotify, you can answer on there. What is the one sporting event in all sports you would love to attend? Me personally will be the World Series because it's the Fall Classic. It's everything. It's on the TV right now. I love baseball. Love tradition.
What a great answer.
I love tradition. I love it. It's not changed. It's been 7 games from the get-go. It's been the same trophy. It's awesome. Love the World Series.
Love it, man. Love baseball. I could have picked World Series in this one, but I actually went with a little bit of a curveball with that white ball, the other white ball.
Masters.
I went to the Masters. Yeah, I mean you have to bid for tickets and have to know somebody pretty much to even get your name on the ballot. I know people that have been bidding for like 30 years and still can't get into it. So that one sticks out to me a little bit more because I feel like the World Series would be easier to get to.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the Super Bowl would be easier to get to. I feel like the Masters is definitely probably one of the hardest events to get into.
It'd be great.
And it'd be insane because you get to see all the pros, you get to see the greens, just everything. So mine would definitely be the Masters. And too, I love golf. Try to play as much as I can. So yeah, I'd go with the Masters.
I like it. The Masters is a close second for me for sure. Augusta, Georgia, everything. It'd be great.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're a Georgia fan.
Woo! Yeah. But yeah, that's the question. Y'all feel free to comment. Put what y'all would do. And this is not the whole, you go once, you can't ever go back question that we posted on our Facebook. I posted it on Facebook, and that was just like that one time you get to go. This is just something you just truly would love to go to.
If you listen to us this long, definitely comment. Yeah. If you've spent an hour and a half with us during your work day or on your ride to work, definitely leave us a comment. We'd love to see.
Final thoughts, man. You got anything? Final thoughts? You want to recap on anything? You want to rub it in my face? You picked the Rangers.
No. I don't really have anything really to touch on. I know we're running right up on an hour and a half right now. It is 11:08 p.m. So we're running up on that bedtime for us. But I think final thoughts for me is college football this Saturday. Pay attention. There's a lot at stake here for some big programs. specifically Alabama, LSU, Washington, USC are probably my two biggest, and Louisville and Virginia Tech. Yeah, that's probably my top three to keep an eye on for final thoughts. Try to keep up with those scores because that's going to be huge for the college playoff.
Yeah, I'm going to second that one because college football this weekend's big, especially with the college football playoff rankings just coming out. The committee is going to be looking at those games. They're going to be doing the eye test. All right, we put you number one. What are you going to do? So that's going to be big. My other final thoughts are going to be probably if the World Series would have continued, what happens next? But, hey, congratulations to the Rangers winning your first ever World Series. Love seeing a new team win. I think it's great. It's a great series, great playoffs. I hate baseball's over.
That does suck.
But I'm already looking forward to spring training and where me and you are going to end up going next year for our new ballpark. So that's something to look forward to. But
fun fact, too, for another final thought here, since we're talking about baseball real quick. Folks, always play hard. Always, try your best because last year the Rangers were 68 and 101.
And now they're world champs.
I said that stat wrong.
You did.
That just now hit me. I was like, they didn't play that many games.
Yep.
They won 68 games last year. I do know that. So let me just go back there on that take. Oh man, I wish we could cut some of this out.
Bruce Bochy.
Anyway,
Bruce Bochy becomes.
My point is, Hess, let me get to it. They won 68 games last year. They're a World Series winner this year. Work hard.
And Bruce Bochy becomes the first ever manager to win a World Series for 3 different teams. He won for the Padres. He won for
That's awesome.
The Giants, and now the Rangers. In his first year as the Rangers manager. But guys, I do again. We say it every episode. We appreciate everything. We appreciate the listeners. Appreciate all the likes, the follows. Appreciate the feedback. Appreciate the messages. Keep it up, guys. You all are the reason we're doing this. We're going to keep doing it. This episode will be posted. Go live on Thursday. Well, yeah, be Thursday morning at 6 a.m. It'll be live on all podcasting platforms. It'll be live on YouTube within the next hour. But for all your podcasters out there, what you listen to, it'll be live at 6 a.m. Let us know what y'all think. I appreciate you guys. I got to get some sleep. I got to be at work in the morning, but I also got to get some editing done on this. Castle, got anything else you want to say?
No, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I think our last pod is doing the best out of our views so far. Which kind of threw me for a loop. Wasn't expecting that.
Especially my sick kind of in on there.
Yeah, but hey, I'll take it. I mean, that's good for us.
Probably feel sorry for her.
Probably, yeah. Probably thought I was a bully too for laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully y'all are enjoying the content. Again, just keep reaching out to us. Letting us know what you want to see. What we can change, what we can improve on. Any feedback's good feedback. That's what we always say here. And also, too, constructive criticism never hurts. So, just let us know your thoughts. Give us a follow. Give us a shout out. Tell your friends. Tell your husband. Tell your wife. Tell everybody. We try to do talks.
Wait a minute.
Here.
One last thing.
Whoa.
Got something to add to the final thoughts.
Let's hear it.
There's another big game this weekend, 3:30 on CBS. University of Georgia plays the University of Missouri.
Oh, they do play.
Yes.
Wow, how do we skip that one?
It's a form.
That tells you, folks, that's a Georgia fan for you. He's not even scared. Missouri, in case y'all aren't familiar, is second in the East.
Yep.
So this game's big.
So, hey,
as bad as Hess,
a lot of great football.
As bad as Hess don't like to admit it, he's a little nervous.
I am nervous. A lot of good football. That's why I didn't want to talk about it, because I am nervous. I didn't want to show my weakness. But again, guys, hope y'all have a wonderful Thursday. Good morning to all you people that's listening. If y'all listen this long, appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your week.
Take care,
See you guys. Bye.